I was a ghost for a second. Hello, welcome. It is Sunday morning for most, evening, afternoon for others. It is Khrysalis Studios that you are in. I'm Raven. I am in a funk and I want to talk about it. So we're going to do some Briar coverage and talk about what they're showing for peaks for Briarfest and a little bit about NaMoPyMo, the Flat Out Fabulous Medallion challenge, I guess. Show, challenge, same thing. That I'm working on and doing for you guys. Those entries are closing soon. The contest for the free Jug Life is coming up soon for the deadline, as well as the editions are closing. And I have a new sticker that I released, which is also very exciting. But yeah, we'll talk about that January hangover blah crazy funk that it seems like a lot of people, including myself, are in. So if I seem a little funky, it is the funk. So, and probably whatever flu has been going around between Chris and I for the last, I don't even know how long, couple weeks. And I'll talk a little bit about my trip. So, all right, let's get started. Yeah, even my system is in a funk. So if it randomly decides to crash during this, then we're just gonna roll with it. But yeah, let us do the thing. So Briar has their Briarfest blog up. We went through, I don't even know, like an hour of Briar content last time. So that was crazy. It's not quite as intensive this time, which is nice. So all their Briar updates or Briarfest updates are on the website here. This is just the Briarfest blog. The first reveal that they showed us was this one. Nash is like, hi. This is an ethereal. So they're saying back in November, they talked about the significance of the midsummer celebrations in the Nordic countries and how this day is widely celebrated today. Festivities include lighting bonfires, making flower crowns, feasting, revelry, and in Sweden, the raising of the maypole. The significance of the celebration of the summer solstice was culturally important across the world and can be traced back to the Neolithic era. My God. Stonehenge comes to mind, and other archaeological evidence dating back to ancient Rome, Mayan civilization, native tribes in North America. Fun fact, we got married on the summer solstice, so that is my anniversary. So it's kind of fun. Intentional. We did that intentionally. Today, in addition to being a culturally Nordic festival, many neo-pagans are delighted in celebrating the longest day of the year with midsummer festivities. Litha is an event known in Germanic neo-pagan, they don't make this easy on me, neo-pagan circles, comes from Bidet? I hope I'm saying that right. If not, that's funny. Reckoning of time, which is also, or in which the Anglo-Saxon names from for the June and July summer months were known as, oh goodness, Litha. At least they gave us the pronunciation that time. Super, super cute. They use this pattern on an auction horse a while back. I'll see if I can find that on Facebook. But quite nice. Dark red blood bay with Tobiano markings, maybe a little bit of splash or something in there because it's got some interesting patterning up underneath the belly that you don't often see with the Tobianos, but maybe I'm wrong. I am not a genetic color specialist. For our first special run, it is Litha. The Marvelous model is on the ethereal mold, sculpted by Kathleen Moody. It is done in a rich red bay Tobiano Pinto, so they're calling it a Tobiano Pinto. This model is available to all VIP, all access, and online ticket holders. So super cute. It's got some dappling in there. Some of the mapping goes in crazy directions, but that's okay. I do like the little spotting on the legs. That's quite cute. Makes it a little bit different. And it is a different color than we're kind of used to. Let me see if I can find the auction model. I should have saved it. I've been trying to get better at saving things as I'm going along on my internet journeys, but yeah, I'm not seeing it. I can't even remember what mold it was, but it was basically the same pattern. So if someone has the link to that, let me know. And then they gave us a clue, which was a leg. And this was picked up pretty quick. Most people are like, oh my God, it's the new mule, which, spoiler alert, it is. And a really cute little dun color. So this is Skal, produced in Scandinavia in the 15th century. Aquavit is a distilled beverage that is flavored with either caraway or dill seeds, among other botanicals. And in Sweden, it must include fennel, which is delicious with chicken, by the way. The name is derived from the Latin aquavitae, which is the water of life. I'm not sure why we're doing so many alcohol names with Breyerfest ponies as of late. Not super kid appropriate, but kind of fun, I guess, if you're into that thing. Let's see. Aquavit is an important part of Nordic culture and can be found around Christmas and midsummer celebrations such as aperitif. Maybe I got that right. In Iceland, Sweden, and Denmark, it's consumed cold, but in Norway, it's traditionally not chilled and meant to be savored. Each distillery makes their own version of aquavit, and there's much controversy in Scandinavia about whose is best. Basically, like all alcohol. If you make whiskey, then it's a fight over who does the best whiskey. If it's Scotch, it's the same kind of thing, I guess. Beer, micro distilleries do their thing. Wine, obviously, fairly contentious. So everybody thinks they make the best alcohol, and the alcohol might skew their perspective on how that all works. So super, super cute little model. This is a nice color to see on that mold. I quite like that color on mules in real life. It says, our next special run model reveal, we are excited to introduce to fans Aquavit, done in a stunning done on the new Molly Mule mold, sculpted by Laura Gillern Sailor. This is a special run on blah, blah. This special run model will only be available in person. So you can't get this if you're online. You have to have somebody pick it up for you, which has caused some issues with some people. But that is going to happen because they're going to put things out there that are only available in person, like the Tiger Lily and Firestorm models were for last year. So it's a thing. I wish all the things were available to all the people, but they like to do it like this. So we will see what our next peak is, because they did show a Pinto pattern. So they're saying it's a clue. That's Friday here at the headquarters, and we are ready for the weekend. So we should see this tomorrow. Before we bid you farewell here on the Breyerfest blog until Monday morning, we wanted to show you this sneak peek. Can you guess who this might be? And it's so vague, you're not going to be able to necessarily focus in on that and go, okay, that is this mold. It doesn't even give us any. There's like maybe a hip here. That's a little bit of shading. That might be the flank, like the line between the hindquarters and the barrel. It could be anybody. So I don't know if anybody has any specific ideas of who they want it to be, but it looks like it'll be fun. It looks like probably a Garula Overo. We will see how that goes. Let's see what our comments are. We have Amy. Hello. Welcome. Congratulations on your new house. Hopefully everything went well. Kimberly. Hello. Welcome. Good morning. Momo. Hello, awesome people. We have Kinsey. Hi, Kinsey. I did send you a message on Instagram, so hopefully you got that. Katie. Hi, Katie. We have Pam. Happy Sunday. Welcome. Katie. Oh, breaking news. There's 2 SRs I need already. Laura. Hi, how's it going? Funny, so far nothing. So everybody's a little mixed on what they want. It'll be nice to have the mule available as a semi-accessible body, especially so soon. We have Glenda. Good morning, Glenda. Lizzie, hello. Afternoon for you. Holly, hi. How's it going? We have pattern. Laura's saying the pattern is similar to the SR Robin and Nestling. Nestling? That could be interesting. Well, and we've seen them recycle patterns maybe a little bit more frequently than before, so that's always interesting to see. Glenda's saying hopefully Bobby Joe mold. Andrew's saying Bobby Joe. It very well could be. That could be kind of fun. We're also, I don't know if we're limited to models of the Scandinavian type, so that might be a thing. I don't know what would come in Overo that would classify under that, so we'll see what that looks like. Katie says, I'm really loving the ethereal and the mule, hoping that the next one isn't something that I conga. The congas are dangerous. They catch you and like, let's see. Katie says, kind of reminds me of Brown Sunshine. Little bit. That's actually the same color, basically. And I quite liked Brown Sunshine, so that's kind of fun. Kinsey, the last 2 days I have been in the Sunshine State Mustang show. That sounds awesome. I actually saw a really cool Mustang that's super chonky that I got to show you guys. It just popped up and I saved the picture because it is wonderful. It kind of looks like Boulder a little bit. Look how chonky he is. He so reminds me of Fireheart with that chonky head and chonky everything. They didn't have a name for him, but he does look like he's chonkier. Looks like Boulder a little bit, but that's just me. Everybody thinks that they make the best Bloody Marys, says Holly. Did you get to show your baby yet, Kinsey? Did you take him out to the show? That'd be cool. Holly says, Pinto Fireheart would be super awesome. That would be amazing. I would lose my noodles. We will see how that goes. Ray Lee, hi, welcome. It has been a long time. Welcome back to the stream. Katie says, I will cry if it is. Kinsey, I did. Awesome. Cool. I will do that hopefully soon today for you. Amy, renting, not owning, but far away from mold. Oh, mold. We had issues with that in our one place, and it's like energy and life draining. So I'm glad you're into a better situation, because if you have mold in the house, it's no bueno. Really, I'm obsessed with the new rearing Mustang mare coming out. Rearing Mustang mare? Which rearing Mustang mare? Bobby Joe was for the one of a kind. Oh, on the same pattern as ethereal. Let me see. Oh man. Did anybody save that? Bobby Joe. Let's see if I can find it. It's always hit or miss whether you're like Briar auction, maybe? Briar. It's always fun looking stuff up. There's Bobby Joe, there's Bobby Joe, there's Bobby Joe. They're not the right Bobby Joe. Meow. I might not be able to find it. Some really cool Bobby Joe customs, though. Maybe I can just share that. Stop. Replace. Bobby Joe. Prior pattern, maybe? I'm not looking at any specific group, so maybe that's my downside. Oh, hey, look. I did that custom. That's the original one. Gail. These are all customs. Yeah, I'm not seeing it specifically pop up. Sorry if I'm making anybody dizzy. Bobby Joe Briar auction. Pattern? Ooh, that's really pretty. Just looking at like the random cuteness. Oh, maybe it's in here. Oh, I don't know which year it was from. Oh, that's when they did the cool Pegasus in green. And the rainbow giraffe one, that's super cool. It wasn't this here. I wonder how recent of a year it was. Do you guys happen to know? Not seeing. Here's Squidward. That's the first auction fire heart. Just go through all the auction ends. I don't know how recent it was. That's a Bobby Joe. That's the wrong color. So maybe it was a little while back, but shoot. I wish I'd saved that. Sorry, guys. That's the same set of auction horses. And I'm not seeing anybody post about having things done. $665,000 pony. Crazy. It's crazy to remind yourself of that stuff every once in a while. So, could be Andalusian Mare. Hi, Michelle. Hi, welcome. Been a long time. Let me see. I wish included send pics to your live feed. She's there. I'll identify your Briar. Oh, the chestnut. Classic. Yeah. I was thinking that it was something in the traditional line I missed. Mustang. I think gilding. But they can remove the bits as needed. So I believe this one has bits. Looks like from the side shot. Yep, it is gelding. Or maybe stallion. But if it's a wild one, then probably it should be a stallion. But we'll see. So yeah, that's what Briar's been up to. We will find out tomorrow what that looks like. I've been reposting these to my stories on Facebook and Instagram. So as soon as I see it, I post it there. So you'll see it through the day if you don't see it on Briar's page right away. That's basically been all they've been up to. They did post about their volunteer information. So if you want to volunteer and you are going to Briarfest, they have lots of opportunities to do that. Then there's the volunteer model that you get. You can do this for any of their events and reach out and let them know. If you have ideas for workshops or things like that, reach out to Briar, send them an email and say, hey, I'd like to propose an idea, and then tell them all the information about it, keeping obviously costs a little bit on the lower side and something that's accessible for most. Some things aren't very easy to do on the go, or if you don't have a lot of dry time between sessions, like oil painting's a little bit out of most abilities to do at the events. Even acrylics, a lot of times they have to use their heat guns to kind of set things. So keeping that stuff in mind, but that's something that pretty much anybody can suggest. And it could be anything from showing to tack making to sculpting, customizing, making props, things like that, creating stories for your horses, filming things, photography. There's endless options for stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, I think there's an application that you go to and fill that out and let them know you want to volunteer for stuff, because they have lots of different positions other than workshops and things that you can do. You can be a line guarder, you can be a setter-upper, you can be all sorts of stuff. A runner and getter of things, a stirrer person. There's many positions available that they need. I can't even remember. I think it used to be about 100 people that would get models at Briarfest, and now that's gone up a fair bit. So crazy, kind of fun. And then they usually don't release the mold until the Briar West, which is coming up right away here, or Midwest Fest, I guess it is now. And then Briarfest will have different horses, and the boot camp will have something else, I think is how it's divided. So yeah, lots of cool stuff going on with Briar. And I did mine early, but we'll do it again. Perfect. So studio updates. There's a few things to talk about here. I have the editions closing on the 15th. So again, we've got 4 days until that happens. That's Thursday. The editions for Jug Life and Little Jug Life. And okay, I got to do this because it's fun. Hold on. Mary. Da, 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 da. Ha ha ha. So Jug Life, Little Jug Life. And Gabriel are ending on the 15th. So if you wanted to do time payments or purchase them, and then each of those purchases gets you entered for the giveaway of the free Jug Life, which will happen on our next stream on next Sunday. So that is happening. Flat Out Fabulous, I wanted to talk about that for a minute. So we've got a whole bunch of entries in for that already, which is super awesome. I'm very excited. So I wasn't expecting to get tons of entries for the first month. You can enter things that you have painted before. Let me go to the website here so you guys can see this. And anyone of any skill level can enter. So this is the page on the website. If you just go up to the top here, it says monthly challenge. You click on that from the homepage. That'll take you to the Flat Out Fabulous page. Our January class is solid colors. So this is realistic only this time. And you can do a new piece for it if you want, as long as it's done and submitted by the 20th. So you still have a little bit of time. We have until next Tuesday to accept entries. And then voting will start with everything going up on live on Facebook on the 21st to the 26th. I close things down at that point, figure out who the winner is, pick my winner because I get one for each of the categories, and announce the winners on the, I think 28th is when I picked, yeah. So this can be something that you've had in your collection that is there, as long as it's not a Pinto or an Appaloosa or patterned. If it's dappled, that's fine. Grays are fine, things like that. Any solid colors, dilutes, whatever you pick. So that can be previously painted and just something that you have in your collection that's a medallion that I've sculpted. And you can enter pieces that I've painted as well if you want. And it can be painted by yourself or anyone, and you can paint it new for the challenge if you would like. So it's kind of fun. The artist challenges are specifically just to give somebody the possibility that if you don't have something in your collection, you can paint it. They're a little bit more geared towards things that artists would be excited about for painting something new. So hair detailing is the one that's coming up for March, meaning for February, for NaMoPaimo, you can paint something alongside your NaMoPaimo piece and do something with fun hair details, and it'll also qualify for my challenge here. So that's kind of fun. The prizes I've listed before, there's studio credit for all of the winners in Open and Rising Star, and then a bigger studio credit for the people that I pick as the winners for host choice. So there's an opportunity over the year to build up a whole bunch of credit. You can save it up, you can use it right away, whatever you want to do. So it's kind of fun. You can maybe win a whole bunch of free resins for your participation. And you can enter 2 entries. I had a question about next month's because it's February and Valentine's Day. I did dynamic duos. It's either 2 medallions in a piece or 2 medallions you've created to put together as a duo, that they're normally separate. Like an example would be Sherlock and Moriarty. You can do something like that, or the Fighty Bitey Boys because they're 2 medallions in one, or Tender Moments because they're 2 medallions in one, or you could do a mixture of any of them, really. So whatever kind of creative combo you want to come up with, each pair counts as 1 entry. So whether that's 2 medallions you're creating as a pair or 1 medallion that already is a pair, either way it counts as 1 entry. So you can enter 2 pairs. Hopefully that clears that up. And then I wanted to go over the how to enter. This is very important. So for me to be able to host challenges like this, I really need people to follow the instructions because I have automatic filters and automations in place in the back end that filter things out and get your confirmations to you and rename the photos and sort things out and put all the data where I need it. So if you don't enter the subject line properly, then it doesn't go into the flow of the automations and I can't manually force them in there. And I don't have the time to be able to do that constantly. So make sure you're using Flat Out Fabulous, whatever the month is, an entry. The month's a little bit flexible. It's the flat out fabulous entry part that's really important. The month lets me know which month it is, which also factors into it. I will change this every month so you know exactly what to put there. I'm going to maybe do a little visual box, but I hate having to reply to people's emails and say, can you please resubmit this? Or you didn't include your photo, or you're missing what division you're entering. Or so if you want to copy that for the subject line and then copy these first 4 points, because the attachment, you just need to attach it to the email. Make sure you include your name, the division you're entering, your horse's name, and then the finished work artist if different from yourself. So make sure you fill those out. It really, really helps me. It's what allows me to do these fun contests. If this becomes too much work because people aren't following the rules, then I can't do these sorts of things. So please, please listen to the instructions. And if there's any way that I can make this better for you guys and more easy to see, just let me know. It's real. I tried to keep this very condensed, but it is very important. So I still need to do the PDF for that. I'm gonna make a PDF for printing so that you can print this out if you want. You can print these images out right from my website as well. So that is flat out fabulous. What else do I have? Last chance for the contest. So if you go to giveaway on the top part of the page here, you can get one free entry for the giveaway contest that I'll draw for next time. You can fill it out on the page here, or go right to the form at the top if that's not working for whatever reason. I close it on the 15th and I draw it for next Sunday during the stream live, which is super fun. So free entry for if you hang out here and fill that out. So anybody could possibly win it with just one entry. And then you get another entry for being in any of the clubs and another entry for any of the resins that you buy from the recent release. So many things going on. There will be another art hangout right away here. I will be sending that information out to all of my members of the clubs, and we will hang out and talk about NaMoPyMo stuff and maybe vibe up, because this whole January thing and is not the best ever. So we'll talk about that in a second. Holly says, noodles! Next year I'll be in the hang class. I'm like, if that's what you're talking about. Let's see, I messed up some stuff. Bobby Joe is for the one of a kind with the same pattern as the ethereal. Oh, well, nothing is off limits for replication, but that is not the best. If it was one of the one-of-a-kind things. So Amy says Breyer pulls a lot of inspo from culture too, so I bet they're not just going to stick with Scandinavian breeds. I could see them using a standing draft for the dollar horse. Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of not as strict as just the theme. We've fell into that rabbit hole and trap before of thinking that it's a little more rigid, but it's not. Kinsey says, I've been at the Mustang show. We'll be in it next year. That's so exciting. Your buddy's turning out so awesome. He's such a sweetheart. Holly says noodles. Patricia, hello, hello. Rayleigh, I wish I included the pics. I defined your prior. Sorry, I'm missing some and catching up on some things. Facebook search stuff sucks. Identify your briar should have it. Oh, that is a thing. Hold on. Identify your briar. And then let's go here. Bobby Joe. It's gonna be, there you go, working cow horse. Pew 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 pew. There. So this is saying, oh, it's not letting me follow. Hold on. It didn't follow me all the way because it opened up a new tab. All right. Live auction, one made. Bam. So that is this one. And then Briarfest blog. Let's see if I can pull that up at the same time as I can do this. Save? No. It is not letting me do the thing. If I screenshot it, maybe. I hate when it doesn't let you save the photos. I understand the reasoning why they don't let you do that, but it is still a pain in the butt. Let's see if I can pull up both at the same time. Quick access. So yeah, that is almost the same color too, and pattern. Very interesting. So yeah, that is very, very the same. So it's interesting to see them pop up multiple different times. Jody, hi, welcome. Oh, and I wanted to make sure I mentioned, I'm just seeing like talks about Mustangs. Sorry, guys. Mustards. I love that name for Mustangs. It's a mustard. Got your new sup chicken butt sticker on Friday. Super cute. I'm so glad. I really like him. I think he's cute. So the new one will have a cool effect to it as well. I'll show that in a second. It'll have kind of a similar matte metallic that'll make it all sparkly, which will be fun. My mom has a 2010 mustard. Yeah, so with the Flat Out Fabulous, there is a category for open, which is anybody who wants to participate, and then 16 or under, or if you haven't won any sort of championship with your work before, you can participate as a newer artist and compete in that category. So that category, I think we have one entry for, so your odds in that are quite good if you have a kid that wants to paint and participate, if you have a friend, a significant other, you're not sure about things and want to try painting for the first time, get in there and do the thing. Navalpine was a really good opportunity to do that, and we'll talk about that in a minute too. Can it have a face marking, says Andrea. Let's see. Good question. Alana. For the February class dynamic duos, if we enter 2 medallions as a duo, does that count as 1 or entry or 2? I did just cover that. The duo counts as 1 entry. So whether that's 2 medallions you're combining to create a duo, or 2 medallion or 2 horses in one that is 1 medallion, either way you're forming a duo. A duo counts as a entry. I'm going to clarify that on the website as well and make sure everybody knows, and I'll send that out in an email. I'm going to make a note to clarify, and then that will be easier for everybody, because I definitely got a little bit of confusion for that. So hopefully that helps. Let me see if there's other things. Can I send you a private message? Email. I don't do PMs on social media because it's too hard to manage and look up stuff. So please send me an email. You can do that through the website, or however, contact@chrysalisstudios.com is the best one. I love when Facebook hides the chat. Yeah, it's definitely crazy train. We have Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Jennifer. Hello. All right. Yeah, for a regular run, that's not okay for an oak. Love the matte metallic because, I'm team matte all the way. I like the metallic. It's fun. Can the January entry have a facial marking? Yes. Normal markings are fine. Just no Pinto patterns or Appaloosa patterns. Roan's kind of pushing it a little bit too. It's technically not a solid horse. Gray dapple is a little bit, but we're bending the rules. You can have dapples because it's hard to differentiate, but Roan's probably not considered solid technically. So Appaloosa, any sort of Pinto or Roan, those would go in another category. We have other ones for those sorts of things later, but if it has dapples, it's fine. Facial markings are fine. Leg markings are fine. That's all good and fine, as long as it's not an actual Pinto, Appaloosa, or Roan pattern. Hopefully that helps. Let's see. Perfect. So I will stop screen sharing and remove the picture and show you another picture. So the sticker for the sticker club and the medallion club, because they go out in both of the packages, is here, and it is awesome. Fire pony. I don't even know what way to point anymore. So this is for the Year of the Fire Horse. It is a fire Let me swap.
Hello.
Hello. That is my husband. I'm still doing it.
Oh.
Yeah. You can say hi. This is a fire Rabicano, so I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I had to do something for Year of the Fire Horse. There's a lot more Year of the Fire Horse stuff coming from me because this makes me very excited. And I love as soon as I did it, like I did the fire horse part and I'm like, I need a pattern for him and I want to do fire Rabicano because I could just kind of imagine the light peeking out from him, and I'm just so excited. I'm so excited if you couldn't tell. This is the thing keeping me going in January, because January has been an unreasonably difficult month for no reason at all other than Christmas hangovers and stuff. So it'll be done in a metallic kind of finish like this guy. So it'll have that sheen to the horse itself. The black part won't. There is an illumination and glow around the horse as well, and that will also sheen. I'm so excited. So yeah, that'll be kind of fun to put on everything. I'm gonna try and not make it too gigantic so it can fit on stuff, but if you want multiples, I might put the order form out for that for club members sooner rather than later, just so I get a better idea of numbers. I'll try and order a few extra to have available for everybody, but I don't know how that's necessarily going to work. You do get a better price when you're in the club versus purchasing it by itself, and super fun. And discounts and all that good stuff. So yeah, super cool. I'm excited. I'm gonna do probably some fun stuff. If I keep talking, I'm gonna say stuff I'm not allowed to say. So this is the sticker. Hopefully you like it. I am very excited and super fun. It was really cool to do all the glowy effects, and it looks really neat in person. So can't wait. Can't freaking wait. All right, let us go back and do this one. I do so love the little like pony in the corner with the carrot. It just makes my life the best. It's the best. So yeah, I titled the stream Painfully Imperfect because that is how everything feels right now. I know some of you guys think that I'm some sort of big corporation that can do crazy things, and that is not the case. It is literally me sitting here doing the thing. And it's a lot of hats and it's a lot of challenge, and I am a artist type human, so that makes me very sensitive to, well, and the neurospicy thing makes me sensitive to rejection and all that sort of thing. So I feel bad when people struggle with following the rules for the challenges and I have to email them and say, can you please send this back in? And the hangover and lull from the Christmas highs, holidays to the crash in January, and everybody just seems like they've done the crashy thing, which then makes my crashy thing worse. And I'm like, it's like climbing out of a pit. Like, my God, like grasping for any sort of thing to keep me going. Specifically these last few days, I had a better day yesterday, and then for whatever reason, like sucked back into the black hole of the world and the news and everybody else just being like, it just makes you want to like quit everything and go live on a mountain somewhere in the bush, which I almost did when we went away to Banff. But I don't know if I'm the only one feeling this, but it definitely makes me more sensitive to all of the stuff that I'm already sensitive to already. So every time I reply to an email late, or like I said, have to email somebody and say, can you just please follow the instructions and put the subject line in the thing, I beg you, because it's like this, it's a snowball thing, and it snowballs in my own brain before it snowballs in reality. But it's like, if we're in December and everyone is not following the rules, then this is not a sustainable thing, and I really, really want to do fun things for you guys. Or like, I get super picky about the quality of the castings. And then I'm like, oh, I had to do an epoxy patch here. And like, I should just quit all of this and go live in a hole somewhere. Or I don't know. It's like one of those moments where you just want to go and spontaneously combust and not have to deal with anything. It's gotten pretty bad. Deep breaths. So it definitely highlights that painfully imperfect thing. So while we went away to Banff, thankfully we're only about an hour and a half away, I was able to take some time to reconnect with doing some art stuff. I had a lot of fun doing the fire horse. I'm trying to not focus on the spirals, because for me, as soon as I feed anything into that, it's like feeding the trolls, right? As soon as you do a little bit, then it's just like they need a 5-course meal and they're sucking the life out of your soul. So I try to avoid the spiral at all costs and name it immediately. I'm like, oh, I am feeling painfully imperfect in this moment, and I don't feel good enough, and I don't feel like I even should be creating art, or people do better art. Like, I gotta not do the spiral. I gotta be like, okay, I'm feeling really sensitive. I am feeling really drained, and I am being really mean to myself. And try and name it and then refocus on something that brings me joy, like creating something else that's new in art, even if it's just scribbling a little like stick man that's doing something like or anything. The fire horse, a lot of that energy was transmuted into her, and I think that that worked out pretty cool. It's the nice creative, fun thing to be able to do with artistic juju, which is why NaMoPyMo can be really beneficial, especially at this time of year when everybody's kind of in a lull. There's not really any shows going on. We're all kind of like hungover and struggling, pulling ourselves out of that friggin' hole from the Christmas mung and the winter blahs and the like, we don't get sun and vitamin D. I've got a lamp, one of those day lamps that helps. Going out and seeing the pony, which I haven't done in a while, then I feel guilty about not doing that. Like, it's a lot, right? So I don't think I'm the only one, but I'll check comments quickly while I'm doing the thing. We have love for the sticker. Read that wrong. Thought it said Raven's pants. Raven's rants, because I rant. It's a thing. Hyperfixation of the week. Maybe they have many pockets. What pockets? Oh, my pants have many pockets. I always need pockets. If I could stick pockets in my pockets, I would do that because I like pockets. I don't like carrying a purse or anything like that generally, because I'm not good at where does it go and how does it sit, and then what if I leave it and forget it? Yeah. You guys share this challenge with me, I'm sure. Jody, I appreciate all the extra you do for us. I know how hard it is. Good on you. And I'm trying, thank you. I do appreciate people have reached out here and there, and that makes my day because sometimes it's just a lot. And I try not to, I want to do so many things, but there's only one me. So the way that I can do that is by automating things. And if I have things like it searches my inbox for a subject line, and those emails get tagged a certain way, and then those get the attachments pulled out, and that allows me, especially because a lot of times it's in my head, it allows me to be able to do that without it being a problem. So then I can do fun things, and I can give you fun things, and we can get excited and paint medallions and all sorts of crazy stuff. Brain compounds to dust. Basically, that's exactly how that works. So thank you, Jody. You guys are the best. I do appreciate, I'm like the best community. And I'm not saying that you guys aren't supporting me enough. It's my own internal battle of like all the stuff. It is the world. It is the weight of that. Although I do appreciate hearing every once in a while that I'm not totally fucking it all up. Pardon my français. We have Amy. I get the same way when it's tiny things that build up and then it turns into a sneaky hate spiral. And that's exactly, like, it can be the smallest thing of like, my pen doesn't want to write today, and my coffee is empty, and I want to quit everything. And it depends on when an email comes in or when something happens, at what moment it hits you. And I try and do the stoic thing of of leveling and managing my being a little bit better, but I am painfully human. And so it becomes a thing. And then it's like, oh, I got to send the box out and then I got to do this. And then when you're sick, that makes an effect on all the stuff too. So I have not read Turtles All the Way Down, but I have heard that is a good book. I will write that down. Turtles All the Way Down. And I should read it like that in my voice the whole time. It'd be fun. We have Pamela, hello, from Washington State. Welcome, thank you for joining. Too much thinking, Raven. I do the same. It's a bad thing. So that's why I try and transmute it to doing and get out of my head, name it so that I can get out of the emotion and recognize it and then move on and put that into something. Getting a little bit better at it. I definitely used to be way worse. I used to actually physically like beat on my head when I wasn't getting homework and stuff right as a kid. So it's a long developed habit that I'm having to separate out, as well as trying to take a little bit of time, kind of like a Sabbath, I guess, like one day a week where I try and not do as much. I haven't gotten to just doing a whole day of resting yet, but I'm trying to do not quite as much stuff because it can be a little bit overwhelming and I don't realize that I just go with no breaks, no anything. And then I'm like, why am I exhausted? So if I take regular breaks, I'm trying to train myself. If I take regular breaks, I will be able to produce more over that same period of time than if I don't. So it's a very challenging thing for me to learn. And then spending time in my relationships and with my animals and things like that too, and balancing, because my balance sucks. Sometimes actually in real life when I totter over and fall over. Let me see. Katie says there better be some deep pockets. Andrea, Q Gollum voice. What does it got in its pockets? I have, what do I got in my pockets? That's a good question. I have a candy and I got instead of hyperfixation of the week, what is in its pockets is I have been remembering my glasses cloth for the first time in forever, but I need to wash it again because it is dirty. It drives me mental when my glasses are dirty, but they'll get really bad. Gamey, no, you are the best. I don't know. I struggle bus. It's a big struggle bus lately. Sarah, it's like when the little straw that breaks the camel's back sometimes. I know. It is so frustrating because then you're like, it was the little thing. I like lost my ever-loving shite over the little thing. And I have a bad like rage underneath, so I try not to rage too hard. Like my computer wouldn't start up this morning and I'm like, please do the thing so I don't have to throw stuff. Yeah, and then it's like more and more. If you guys could be flies on the wall when I'm just doing stuff, it'd be funny. Jody says the older we get, the more a day of rest becomes important. And we're starting to learn that a little bit over time here. Oh my fluff, your shirt is the best. I made it. So stand back. I'm having a creative moment. Which actually wards people away, I find, when I go out in public with this shirt on. They're like, maybe we don't go near the crazy lady, because I don't know if that's like a warning label. It's kind of a warning label. Lizzie, same. I have glasses cleaners everywhere around my house, so I can always find one. If I don't have these everywhere, then it's bad. Then I'm like, I can't see! And then I get mad and I take my glasses off and I'm like, I can't see more! It's just the never-ending battle of stuff. So if you guys are feeling the January mung as well, it is not forever. Try and focus on the things that bring brightness. Don't let yourself spiral. Name the things, because it's like releasing that internal energy and it lets it dissipate, which doesn't build up inside you to explosion levels. And yeah, my goodness, we will get through this together, and we will also hopefully all be able to participate in NAMO this year. So if you're not part of the NaMoPyMo group on Facebook, I suggest joining it. This is NaMoPyMo, National Model Horse Painting Month. It goes for the entire month of February. You can prep your models in January. Painting cannot begin before February 1st unless you don't want to participate officially, which is the lower stress way to do it. You can paint anything you want. You can't officially participate with a medallion, but you can do it as your side piece, or, which I did it I did this too, I think is what they call it. It is run by Jennifer Buxton. And then a whole bunch of people get in there making comments and supporting each other, answering questions. It's a safe place to ask questions. I started a version kind of the works in progress stuff for the Flat Out Fabulous too. So if you want a place to do medallions, you can share them on NamoPymo as well, but the contest is more focused on the full 3D models. And then if you want to post in the Ravens Rad Rockin' Ravers group on Facebook, you can post your medallions there if you're more comfortable doing that. And lots of people saying, hey, what tape do I get for sticky tape? What sealer's good for pan pastels? Here's how to post a selfie. I'm working on Dremling stuff. Lots of funny stuff, which is kind of nice. So if you're having a mung day, this is really helpful. This time of year is really helpful. And with my Flat Out Fabulous Challenge stuff, I'm trying to keep that juju flowing the whole year. We can work on stuff, do challenges, create things. It's kind of that motivation and thing to focus on and focus all that energy into so that the anxiety doesn't win. But everybody of all different levels participates usually. This is a really helpful list of all the colors and things for pan pastels so you can see how they compare, which is super helpful. I try and get in there as much as I can to cheer people on and answer questions and stuff. And I don't know that I've seen a lot of the more experienced higher up artists do it as much as hopefully they'll participate a little more this year. It's nice to see that level of help because it holds different weight. I think it's like that with great power comes great responsibility thing of like to have some peer of yours say something's really nice, that's helpful, but sometimes it's nice to hear it from people that you admire the work of too, right? It just holds a little bit of a different weight to it. Again, I caution people to be a little bit careful with just public critiques because that can kind of be all over the board. Reaching out to somebody that you respect and like for help with things, you kind of have to build that, like we've talked about before on the stream, that barrier of not taking things too personally. And with heart, that's really hard. So just keep that in mind when you're sharing things. It is a safe place to ask for questions, but if you're asking for specifically critiques on stuff, you might get a mixed bag. People posting selfies. These are the new pan pastel colors. It's just a great opportunity to get in there, do something creative, whether you think you're a creative type person or not, because everybody can do art. And I think it's very therapeutic to do it. A lot of times doing something that's a decorator or a fantasy color is a little bit less scary because you don't have all those rules of it has to look perfect. And then you're not beating yourself up. What is that purple dapple green haired like Appaloosa thing gonna look like? You don't know. It's a unicorn in crazy colors, so it could be whatever you want, which is very freeing, even for the experienced artists and the people that do this a lot, because some of the rules for the models can be really rigid, and I find that that keeps a lot of people out, which I don't want to see happen. I want to see people painting and enjoying and participating, and there's a different level when you're doing stuff yourself, whether you're going to eventually show it or do anything crazy with it, just getting it out there is super healing and wonderful, as long as you don't beat yourself up too much. Katie, I've become nearsighted. I need glasses for up close stuff. I have like an astigmatism and a lazy eye and all sorts of crazy stuff. Like it doesn't do it as much anymore, but I can like let the one go. It used to be like that as a kid. It was bad. But yeah, I can see kind of without the glasses, but I definitely need it for up closey stuff and far away stuff. All of it. Pamela, what process does Breyer use for glossy sealing the models to have a hard dry finish? They don't talk about that. Most of their paints are a factory formulated blend that's put through an industrial type airbrush, I believe, and they don't disclose what they use. I would assume it's a 2-part resin type sealer, like you see in something like the automotive world, but I don't know the exact specs and they don't tell anybody that. So nobody knows. It's not probably something that you would shoot just out of a can because it's such a hard surface. And I know a lot of people have issues with the sealers that way. there's mixed stuff. I've had issues with the triple thick stuff myself. So you want something that's a little bit more like the resin, because you mix the two parts together, spray it on the model, then it cures and is hard and solid. So that's what I would lean more towards, but that's not something that's super accessible to most people because it doesn't run through normal airbrushes the best. From my understanding, you would have to have like a car style airbrush that can be cleaned a little bit easier and isn't as sensitive. And if it dries inside the airbrush, it's not the best deal. So those things make it a little less accessible, but I'm seeing a lot more people do glossies, so I'm not sure what products they're using. I know for the faux Fs that that's quite popular. Sarah, I love how supportive you are of all of us. I'm glad. That's what I had when I was growing up in the hobby, is people that cheered me on and wanted me to step out of my comfort zone. So hopefully I can do that for a few of you. If I even make one of you like just try a little out of that box, that's the best thing. Sarah says lots of good references too on that page. There's lots of people posting really cool references. Another really good page is there's a anatomy one. If you're a sculptor, anatomy eccentricities. It's a Sarah Mink group. Anatomy eccentricities relevant to realistic equine sculpture. So you thought Ravens, Rad Rock, and Ravers was really hard to say. But yeah, like people are super cute. Nicole's doing some really cool customs. That's not in Namapoimo, that's just ponies and cute. Let's see. Pam says, artist therapeutic, just doodling. I used to make 12-inch stuffed tall ponies. Oh, that's so cute. They each had their own personality in their birthing process. That's how art works. Like there's so much soul and stuff that goes into it that it's the best thing. And it's something that you have to experience to understand. And I think the more abstract kind of things are, the easier it is to not be so judgmental. Lots of people start with like junk journaling and things to kind of get into more creative stuff or planning and journaling. And junk journaling is just kind of sticking everything in there. Art journaling, same kind of idea. So stuff like that can be a little bit more, feels like the safe way to enter into things. I would like to believe that Namapoimo and medallions and stuff are a really safe way to get into stuff. So figure it would be an automotive industry thing. Thank you, Raven. And yes, some more dust. It would definitely, so you'd need a, for any of the automotive stuff, they need a lot of ventilation, and you would need also to make sure it's dust proof, because if you're sealing anything, all the dust and the dog hair and the cat hair and the everything just goes to the horse. Jody says, I think yes, the Mink group can get funny sometimes, like the latest stallion post. I haven't seen the latest stallion post, but I can only assume. It's kind of all over the place and it's weird stuff, so it's super fun to see stuff pop up like that. That's another part of like curating your timeline, so when you open it up, it's not like news. And I've been bad about snoozing people that talk about stuff, because it's like, I don't want to see that right now, especially right now. It's already like crazy. But focusing on people creating stuff and things that I can do to go in and like comment on people's stuff and say, you're doing awesome. I love this part of your horse. Because I try and do that as much as I can too. So, all right, on that note, that was kind of my hyperfixation. I've been hyperfixation a little bit less this last little bit with the holiday and going away and stuff like that. But hopefully for next week, we'll have some sort of fun hyperfixation, because I need to like refocus my brain on stuff. It's been like hyperfixating on not falling into the spirals and trying to get the vibe up for Namo and all these different events that are happening. So yay! If you have any questions about any of this stuff or anything at all, or want to suggest a topic for the stream, make sure you hit me up and send me an email, contact@chrysalisstudios.com. I can put that in a caption here. Hold on one second. And make sure to put 2 S's. contact@chrysalisstudios.com. I'm going to try and transition basically everything over to that. PayPal is still on the Gmail email because I don't want to mess it up by moving it. But for communications and stuff, I do prefer this one. I do have access to the Gmail one, of course, and there's some stuff that I'm trying to move over and link, but it's challenging to do that apparently. Other than that, if you like the stream, I would appreciate you hitting the like button or the follow button or either or liking the page. That lets other people find the stream and my work and hang out in the chat and be awesome people like you guys already are. And if you're watching this later, you're welcome to join it live whenever you'd like. It's usually Sundays at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And in the meantime, I will see you guys next week for the draw for the Juggernaut. The Jug Life. It'll be fun. One of these guys. So make sure to get your entries in, free entries on the website. Grab those ponies before the editions end on Thursday. Do not feed the trolls. Definitely not this week. If your energy is low, that is a bad idea. Don't guilt feed them. And then I will see you next Sunday. Love you guys. This actually made me feel better being with you guys, so I appreciate you so much. Thank you. See you next week.